Ready to go?
Perfect. Okay, so floor's yours.
So I'm director of 20CI, which is a property data technology business. We own a number of products which essentially help estate agents and new home developers to improve how they buy and sell property in the UK.
Excellent. Okay, your first question is impact. How is technology impacting on the property sector at the moment?
So, in my opinion, estate agents and new home developers and even kind of the online/hybrid agents that are now emerging are all looking at the same thing, which is an integrated service that helps improve the process of buying and selling property. So one of the huge challenges that everybody that is entering the market, whether it as a developer, as a private seller, as a vendor or buyer anywhere in the chain, is the fact that it takes over 20 weeks to complete a house sale. The fall-through rate is still 1 in 3, and it's a very arduous and fragmented process and understanding if you're actually moving closer to a property completion. So I think if there was a solution out there that helped a consumer, which is obviously the primary beneficiary of a home move, whether it's a seller or a buyer, to get from price agreed to completion quicker, then everybody would benefit.
Okay, thank you. Second question is challenge. What do you think will be the biggest challenge for the sector going forward? What have we got to overcome?
So I think the immediate challenge is uncertainty. The immediate challenge for where we are kind of today, 3 weeks from the holy crap moment, is getting over uncertainty. So I think it is short term. I think the more medium term challenge is actually getting property to a point of meeting the demand. So there's still an issue of new home developers not getting their exchanges done within 6 to 8 weeks. There's still an issue of vendors not understanding the difference between a traditional and an online estate agent and the service that they provide. So I think that if there's an ability for the home move market to be more efficient, then that's something that needs to be overcome, because there's lots and lots of prop tech kind of businesses being thrown at the wall at the moment, and estate agents and consumers and conveyancers and surveyors don't know which technology is actually a solution and which technology is just trying to create a solution for a problem that doesn't exist yet. I think for lenders, I think there's an issue of trying to be more pragmatic in the way that they approach lending. So at the moment, for example, when you make a mortgage application and you agree the price to purchase a property, you don't actually find out the results of a survey or a search until 6, 8, 12 weeks after that. And at that point, you've got commitment and costs that have been incurred by you as a buyer, but everybody else in the chain. Whereas all the information that would indicate that you're not going to get that mortgage or not going to be able to buy that property at the price that you agreed is available in the ether today. So surveys have been done on most properties, searches have been done on most properties. If there's results that are going to be adverse to you as a buyer and you as a lender, then surely it makes sense to have the decision-making process much more fluid at the beginning before cost and time are incurred. And I think that, I'm not saying the Scottish model, by the way, is the way that we should move forward, but I think we do need to look at how the legal process enters some of the key deal breakers quite late in the process rather than at a preliminary stage.
Selling it to me, by the way. The last question is about opportunity. So what do you see will be the biggest single technology game changer in the property sector over the next few years?
So I think that there's going to be, I don't think there's a single game changer. I think, for example, VR could potentially commoditize the estate agency service. I think that could be a game changer. I think that if consumers adopt that channel of viewing a property, then effectively the estate agent just becomes a booking platform or a price negotiation platform. I think kind of big data becoming more and more accessible to all the stakeholders in a property transaction, so from estate agent to lender to surveyor all the way down to the consumer, that could drive incredible efficiency savings. the potential privatisation of the land registry. I mean, that is a huge issue in understanding whether a transaction is completed and understanding how quickly conveyancers can interact with other conveyancers in a chain to get to a timely exchange. But I mean, fundamentally, I think the biggest game changer is going to be the fluidity of the market. I think if we can get transactions being less stress-free for the consumer, I think that if lenders can provide a service to a home buyer that gives them more visibility and assurance at the beginning of the process, and estate agents are more efficient with the help of kind of conveyancers and surveyors in getting a transaction from price agreed to completion, I think efficiency in the sector would increase fluidity, and I think that we could quite easily on the back of that move from a world where we're currently completing between 800 and 900,000 transactions a year to 2 million, because there are over 2 million properties that enter the market every calendar year for sale, yet less than half of them complete. So for me, there isn't one single benefit. I think that if there can be efficiency savings and kind of the eradication of operational inefficiency in buying and selling property, whether it be new home or second-hand home, then I think that that would be a huge benefit to the consumer, and we'd see a completely different property market in 5 to 10 years' time.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
Thank you. Wow.